This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map Battle City for a 2v2. On the left side in the north, as the Orange Reaper 17, it's DuneTiger. And their ally as the Cyan Traveler 59, looks like going for fast legs, it's CharlesWarMonk. Or Warmonk, rather. Warmonger. In the south, making up team number 2, this is as the Blue Steel Talons Tesla. Good to see Elon Musk jumping into Kane's Wrath. And their ally as the Green Nod. This is AggressivePanda, which is perhaps one of the least aggressive animals. I don't know that they're actually the least aggressive, but it seems that they're not very interested in keeping themselves alive much longer. But anyways, fast leg descents are going to be able to overwhelm these militant squads. And the engineer in the north, I think, wasn't quite seen by these militant squads. They chose to try and help out their buddies in the south, and they got wrecked themselves. But that does mean that AggressivePanda will have as much time as possible to react to that. So we got GDI Nod, well, Steel Talons Nod, versus 2 Skrin sub-factions. And, of course, it's always good to see Elon Musk in Kane's Wrath. And, ooh, looks like going to be going for a bit of a Tib Spike Steel. But a friend of mine in the StarCraft space makes these videos called, like, Useless Facts with Fear Dragon about StarCraft. Except for he titled one of them, for, like, no particular reason, Useless Facts with Will Smith. And that video apparently got, like, 3 times the normal views. So now I really want to call this, you know, like 2v2 with Elon Musk. And then just see if it gets way more views than normal. And all of the harvesters pulled away pretty much perfectly. Ooh, one shredder turret way up in the north, not really doing a whole lot, catching a couple of descents up there. But down here in the south, pretty much perfect placement of that second shredder turret by Panda. And then a little bit of a watchtower action coming in for Tesla as well. And even the buggy, it's, ooh, buggy's going to get, no, buggy, I think, yeah, it does actually survive there. So very nicely done for Panda. Expansions on the way for everyone. As you can probably tell, you just pretty much drive north or south depending on where you are. So over here, you just drive south, or you let your ally drive south, and then there are your expansion fields. On the other side, you just drive north a little bit, and then there are your expansion fields. Real quick, around the map, we got ourselves, I think, 3 Tiberium spikes and an EMP control center per side. So a total of 4 different capturable structures per side, and no one's grabbing the EMP control centers, which is a little bit unfortunate. But of course, it doesn't look like AggressivePanda or DuneTiger ended up going for the spikes either. As we can see, Charles got those spikes over there, and even this one back there. All these battle markers popping off around the map, but it's mostly just like not engineers, infantry running through tib fields. But so DuneTiger didn't drop the barracks to get anything out. He went for the faster eco, and Panda did the exact same thing. Harvester's under a little bit of threat here. Not a whole lot here for Charles to really deal with this. I assume he's going to draft something, or someone's going to call something in to deal with these pit bulls, because they are actually getting some nice DPS off on that one harvester. They pulled back. They didn't want to suicide themselves, although one of them will end up going down anyways, so he could have tried to go for something there. Tier 3 up and running for Charles, so relatively quick Tier 3 tech. As you can tell, he's got nothing going on for a natural expansion. Tier 2 up and running for DuneTiger, who's going to be putting some, I don't know if he's going to be putting hurt on anything with these Titans here for Tesla to run defense. I don't know if Seeker tanks are really going to be able to do too much with it. Tesla, on the other hand, getting his own expansion up and running off the build radius provided by Panda at this natural expansion location. And always nice to play nice with others. Mechapeds out on the field, so directly into mechas for Charles. And keep in mind, you know, Reaper 17, we don't see it very much. Steel Talons, we don't see it too very much. But that sneaky Traveler 59, there's lots of teleportation tricks that you can pull as Traveler 59, and people hate to play against it. Scorpion tanks versus Shard mechas. It's not the worst in the world situation, that is. Blue Tib, by the way, is kind of your third base location, third field location, rather. But, yeah, Shard Mechas versus just Scorpion tanks, you're probably not going to have a good time. Maybe you get a nice cap, Tier 2 up, and Tier 3, by the way, for AggressivePanda. You're probably not going to get the perfect shots that you need to kill the head of the Mechapede and then quickly kill it. So those Shard Mechas will probably do a lot of damage, as well as Charles controls them nicely. A lot of Titans, a lot of Wolverines in the south going to be able to easily push away DuneTiger, and Mechas once again coming in. Even a Lightning Spike gets... gets dropped down, and actually a temporal wormhole, or a wormhole shows up there, grabs... Yeah, he actually did grab the MCV, so very nicely there. What is he doing with the... Okay, so he got the sell-off just barely. Did he actually... Did the Prodigy go down? Did he lose the Prodigy with all of that? Even sending a couple of militant squads through, I think... He may have lost the Prodigy at all of that, so he traded a Prodigy out for the MCV cap. A little bit unfortunate there, and it looks like the Operations Center was also sold off by Panda. So he's got his Tier 3. He's down on the MCV, which is annoying. He's got Dual War Factory there, and a big attack in the south. Lots of dev tanks, and looks like Temporal Wormhole, that's the actual thing going off there, as it's slowing down these units by quite a bit. Descent's trying to make a bit of a... enclosing movement there, but not actually going to be able to do anything. One Behemoth does go down. Of course, the dev tanks are able to fire much more quickly outside of the temporal distortion than inside of it, as those Titans all go down. Even the Watchtower's not doing as much damage as they would ordinarily. And I don't know if that War Factory's production time is also slowed, if it's actually technically inside or if it's just a bit outside. Buzzers get called in on top of nothing. I think they were hoping there would be some engineers there or something, as Mechapedes get pushed back and annihilated by those Scorpion tanks. Nicely done by Panda. Shows up with a whole lot of reinforcements, avatars, Scorpion tanks, and the like, able to crush through this entire army. And goodbye DuneTiger's last couple of dev tanks. No, never mind. Panda actually turned all of his Scorpions around just when victory of that over that army was in sight. More mechas in the middle of the map. Descents as well for Charles. He's done annoying Panda in the north, and he's brought most of his army south. But check out this Tesla in the middle of the map. And not quite in the middle of the map. I thought he had actually production facilities, but it's literally just those two refineries. Eradicator Hexapod screams its way onto this map, and it's going to be a Reclamator hub on the side of Tesla. So it's going to be a little bit longer to wait for that epic unit from our Steel Talons player. He's got a couple of Behemoths, but they need to get themselves back home to safety because they are not going to be able to stand up to the close proximity. Oh my gosh, 2-3 Behemoths go down before the fight even really begins, as one tripod does fall, but an Eradicator Hexapod is also here. And keep in mind, if Charles and DuneTiger are playing together like on comms or something, they can really work some mean stuff up with a couple of Eradicator Hexapods and a Prodigy between them to share. Drops a secret shrine as well as a hand of Nod in the north for AggressivePanda. Drops an obelisk in the south to try and help Tesla defend this location, and there's going to be the phase firing off just before the EMPs lock this guy down. Very nicely done, and this is about enough time for Tesla to get himself out a Marv, as all of these tripods are forced to turn around. That guy almost going down, but not quite. It looks like the husks have pretty much all been cleaned up, which means this engineer is not doing much. The phase is still active. The EMP has worn off, and this Eradicator Hexapod is going to be able to walk its way home. But in the north, it looks like a big force is growing. A big force is gathering. Panda has rebuilt his MCV, and he is ready for blood. Long-distance harvesting that blue Tiberium in the north. And I know there was some early long-distance harvesting in the south for Tesla, so if this team on the right side / in the south of this map are able to band together and steal all of the blue Tiberium, that could give them a big economic advantage, even though the expansion was extremely late for Charles, which would just put him even further behind of his opponent, who has blue Tiberium plus a normally timed expansion. Area Mind Control grabs 1, 2 avatars, a Black Hand squad as well for CharlesWarMonk, as he is making use of that Prodigy. A couple of Mechapedes do go down. EMP locks down 2 of those avatars. Very nicely done there for Panda, trying what he can to eliminate his own units that he spent cash on, and now he has to kill. He gets the kill on them before pulling back, but of course this leaves husks on the side of Charles, and if he can just get engineers into them, then they can be rightfully his by claim and not by mind control. And it looks like in the south, a big move forward. Corruptor is going to be healing up that Eradicator Hexapod for its fight with a quad engineer Marv, but in this north, a couple more mind caps do, I think the Prodigy actually went down there, so they return to the control of Panda, who's making a massive defense here with 3 Hand of Nods on the front line and 4 or 5 avatars here. The husks now on the side of Panda. I think that's 4 husks in there in total, but some of them do get crushed. Even a tripod here ready to be claimed by AggressivePanda. So much has been going on that a rift generator has also been constructed at some point by DuneTiger, and his entire army is in retreat. I guess it's the behemoths. Too many behemoths for him to stand up against 8 behemoths here on the front lines or so. Even a tripod could be grabbed, although an engineer is also very close. And in the north, is there anything really of substance? Okay, Reaper Tripod's going to be coming in, as well as Blue Shard Gunwalkers here with their force fields as well. They're going to be making the defense. DuneTiger coming to the aid of Charles, and this is so many avatars from AggressivePanda. Maybe if there was a Prodigy here to help DuneTiger actually do something, as Charles has not very many forces. He does have 2 tripods and a storm column here to try and beat back this army, but this is so many Nod lasers. Well, Stasis Shield is a good way to start this, as well as crushing on all of these rocket troopers. That's a great way to even the odds, because other than that, this would be pretty much an overwhelming force from Panda, but this attack has been beaten back with the help of DuneTiger and, well, really, the Stasis Shield locking down 3 of those avatars. 4 of those avatars, which was like half of the actual firepower of Panda's army. Behemoths getting locked down, getting destroyed by Reaper Tripods. Even the Marv going into the danger zone as it doesn't want to get EMP'd itself. Shockwave Artillery locks down a whole bunch of those Gunwalkers, but the infantry army is pretty much untouched by it, so this is a lot of still firepower here remaining for Tesla, but this is a messy engagement as the Corruptors healing that Eradicator Hexapod in the south get in on the action. The Behemoths break down. There's still a lot of firepower here. Oh, that Avatar gets grabbed by the Prodigy. A nice move for Charles, but just more and more forces pouring in from Panda. The attack does not stop. Orbital bombardment on top of the Eradicator Hexapod, on top of these Corruptors, and I'm not actually sure who controls that tripod. I think it's actually Tesla who managed to grab that with an engineer, bringing it to his use. And a mine drop going to be coming in. I guess it wasn't a tip vapor bomb, but it's a mine drop directly on top of that Eradicator Hexapod, trying to help this Marv survive, which is so low on HP. Can the Marv actually withstand it? No, it cannot, as Tesla loses his Marv, but the Eradicator Hexapod getting so close to being eliminated before it gets phased, and it will be saved by DuneTiger. But can he save his ally in the north, who has lost so many tripods on the front line? Their dead bodies litter the ground as Panda steps ever further forward, crushing Harvester and building alike. One more Avatar does get reclaimed, but there are so many red rockets busting out from Panda. So many heroic rocket squads doing so much DPS that there is nothing that Charles has to really do about that in the north. DuneTiger is holding his own against Tesla in the south, but this is so much DPS. Big, expensive Tier 3/Tier 4 buildings in the north that Charles spent a lot of cash on and hasn't gotten very much use out of. And just like, what is even going on in Charles's base? He's got nothing for a defense here. No buzzers, no gunwalkers, nothing to try and hold this back. It's just been a solid push from AggressivePanda, even going to be mixing in an air tower there for some of those Venoms that you saw, and that's a Harvester down in the south getting hit and sells off the Tier 3 and the Tier 4 as well. No, actually, this Venom may actually accidentally kill an engineer in the north from Charles there. As DuneTiger getting his Eradicator Hexapod healed up very nicely. There's going to be a teleport from the Prodigy of that drone ship, so Charles manages to get that out of the danger zone. He manages to save it from the forces of AggressivePanda, who well, has actually missed that engineer for now. That engineer may end up capping this. Ooh. that could be bad. Caps the MCV would be a nice move for Charles. 2 MCV steals in one game, as these Venoms cleaning up even more Descent squads, which if the Descents could get on top of this army, might be able to stop it, might be able to slow it down, but Eradicator Hexpod going to be stepping on forward. This is so much damage! That's a lot of damage! You don't even need a chainsaw to do that much damage to an Eradicator Hexpod before it gets teleported away to the safety and the security of all of those Corruptors on that side of the map, and the Engineer up here in the corner as well. The MCV on the move, unfortunately for Charles. He won't be able to grab that, not at the current moment. So many heroic rocket squads now going to be closing in on these Shardwalkers as they're trying to deal with the overwhelming forces. This is so much gun damage that is just slowly but surely killing that refinery. My gosh, they might as well just go for the crushes with how close they actually are. And the Redemption going to be firing off there as well. It looks like, I guess the Operations Center or something was grabbed by Charles, so he's got that Black Hand Squad now in his opponent's base, and he gets a little bit of cash back for his Engineer. I don't know that it was really worth it, as I think an EMP locking down that Shardwalker, allowing Panda to do something about it. Oh, the Rift Generator fires off, doing massive damage to that Marv, kills a Juggernaut as well, or a Behemoth rather, doing some damage to the Conyard as well. A stealthed Eradicator Hexapod. I don't even... Oh my gosh, did he cap something to give himself stealth on that Eradicator Hexapod? Because that would be pretty massive. And the EMP fires off once again. It has been apparently grabbed by DuneTiger, which is a nice move there. Gets the kill on the Marv as well. And I think calls down Icor Seed over there, getting himself that Tiberium, and the Black Hand Squad able to get eliminated there, as Panda, I guess, has been beaten back finally. Man, that EMP coming in pretty nicely there for DuneTiger, really swinging things into his favor. If the Rift Generator wasn't quite enough to do that on its own, Gunwalkers with blue shard upgrades here to just do some massive damage to this infantry. But of course, they're going to trade out slowly but surely if Panda keeps sending infantry over there. Obelisk is a better idea. It'll clean these guys up a little more cost effectively. 2 Harvesters trying to steal that blue tib for DuneTiger, but he's not going to get very much because not much has actually regrown. What a crazy game. Nice Engineers healing up that MCV for Tesla. 2 refineries there. May want to go ahead and sell one of those off. And Charles, I guess, is still technically in this, but his original main field is now being harvested by Panda. It's now being converted into units and buildings and armies for Panda. And oh my gosh, a stealthed Eradicator Hexapod, which just that very concept of like, well, we can't see it, but we can obviously see its massive footprint that it leaves as it's stomping its way incredibly loudly towards a crushing of a Behemoth, which, that's just mean-spirited. I mean, come on, DuneTiger. He just walked over an unsuspecting Behemoth like it was nothing. And, ooh, Harvesters just being parked up here. Long-distance harvesting by Charles and DuneTiger, getting harassed by the Nod forces of Panda. And these Harvesters are going to be getting harassed by an Eradicator Hexapod. Not a lot of times do you see a hit and run from a stealthed Eradicator Hexapod. Not very often at all. A couple of rocket squads here going to allow these Harvesters to die that much more quickly. Might as well kill the EMP Control Center while you're here. Get the Harvester full of Tib first and then get the EMP Control Center after this. But it's kind of tit for tat as these guys are taking out Harvesters on the opposite sides of the map. And the Pitbull goes in for the kill, but the teleportation is good as the Corruptors get reassigned to heal that guy up in the south there, and this Tib Spike is still under the control of Charles, so he's still got that bit of income, but the other Tib Spikes were... No, this one over here was never reclaimed by AggressivePanda. So it's actually been under Charles's control for the majority of this game, and as we go on later and later into this game, I mean, obviously there's not a lot of Tiberium left on this map, so those Tib Spikes represent a bigger and bigger percentage of the income of each of these players, feeding some buzzer squads into these Venoms. Not going to do a whole lot, but it will confirm that, yes, there are Venoms up there, and they still do have enough ammo to shoot your guys and kill them, although losing a couple of buzzers is not a big deal. Tib Spike was grabbed by Tesla, which is kind of nice for him. It looks like guys are beaconing everywhere on this map. Tesla's MCV still looking nice and healthy. And Panda, well, he's got himself a Redeemer now, fresh and ready to go toe-to-toe with an Eradicator Hexapod, although it's kind of funny that the Eradicator Hexapod has stealth, And currently, the Redeemer does not. Beacons firing off in the middle of the map, and these two teams unable to clearly see what is the best way to move forward. This is a difficult situation where everyone is strapped for cash. The armies have been built and busted, broken, and then rebuilt once again. Space Command uplink, but I guess Tesla has some kind of cash because he wouldn't have built that if he didn't have the cash to use the support powers. Although maybe he's just hoping that he'll have the cash when he needs to engage the Eradicator Hexapod. The Eradicator Hexapod being stealthed like this is definitely a good idea, and definitely one of those things where, like, you want to do as much damage with it and then whisk it away with the teleport, but you don't want to let it get too far out. You don't want to let it get, oops. Nice teleport there, like a full 2 seconds in advance of that EMP buggy. That is an elite Eradicator Hexapod double vet, and even an obelisk going down. 2 obelisks going down for Panda in the middle of the map, so he's going to be helping Tesla stay strong. He's going to be helping Tesla defend. Oh, for a second I thought that was an engineer because it was just a single unit. And I was like, going for a tier 3 cap would be worth it more for just the cash back than the... Oh, is he spreading a bunch of engineers out? Huh. I don't know. I guess he might just be going... Charles, that is. Might just be going for sneaky engineers along the sides of the map. I guess that's why maybe Venoms were hunting along the sides of the map for Panda. I know he was hunting with Venoms earlier, but I didn't actually see him kill anything with them. Engineers going to be trying to escape the rifleman squads, and they will go down there as the harvesters try and get back to works. Looks like one Venom ended up going down. A couple of Raider buggies going to be joining up with their friends, and lovely disruption tower in the middle of the map. And of course, that'll stop any sneaky engineers from sneaking their way into buildings, or prodigies from getting sneaky kills. This stealth... Oh, the EMPs are going to come in. You better teleport away soon. Okay, nicely done there by DuneTiger. He's got 40 seconds left on... Are they going to go for, like, I'm gonna like, nuke the army with my rift generator, and then you move in. He's getting vision. Rage Gen does fire off near the front of the map. Reaper Tripod's going to be going ballistic on each other. EMP locks down that Redeemer. Is this going to be the moment that forces the fight for these guys? This could be a great opportunity for an engineer to grab something on the back end. And no, it doesn't look like he was able to grab anything just yet. But that Redeemer will go down. Panda spent the money on it, but he got almost no value for it as Shockwave Artillery locks down parts of this Skrin army. But the EMP buggies aren't doing anything, so this is just going to expire, and then everyone's going to be able to walk away from it. 1 second left on the rift generator. Is it going to be on top of the army? Yes, it is, killing everything that is gonna have EMPs, even gets the behemoths, and the army has been broken. Is there anything here to stop an Eradicator Hexapod? All of the EMPs are gone, and that will do it. I believe that engineer just snuck its way into that tier 3, and that should seal up this game. If Panda and Tesla bring it back from here, I would be incredibly impressed. But man, a game coming down to like a clutch 5 seconds, where it's like, if you have the EMP Raider buggies, Panda and Tesla could have held off that attack for a lot longer. It would have been forcing the Eradicator Hexapod to be used more to just teleport it back to safety. But they could have held that attack off a lot longer, and obviously that's why DuneTiger nuked all of those EMP Raider buggies, and then he also got the behemoths as well, and that was the strength of AggressivePanda and Tesla. That is where their entire army lay, and that will do it for this match. EMP and the Rift Generator both being utilized very well by DuneTiger there. And CharlesWarMonk, well, he was doing okay, and then AggressivePanda showed up in his base and not quite kicked him out of the game, but almost kicked him out of the game. And then it was kind of DuneTiger from a position of strength, being able to hold off Tesla and AggressivePanda, who were also pretty beaten back from their fights early on. But that will do it for this map, for this game. A great 2v2 from these 4 guys. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert, signing out.